common dream symbols and their meanings. The language of dreams. Last night, you found yourself standing at the edge of a cliff, about to fall into an endless abyss. Or maybe you were being chased by something you couldn't quite see, your heart pounding as you ran through endless corridors. Perhaps you were flying effortlessly above familiar landscapes, feeling a freedom you've never experienced in waking life. Sound familiar? These aren't just random neural firings while you sleep. According to Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, your dreams are speaking to you in a language older than words, the language of symbols. Jung believed that dreams are the unconscious mind's way of communicating with our conscious awareness, offering guidance, warnings, and profound insights about our deepest selves. But here's what most people don't realize. The symbols in your dreams aren't arbitrary. They're universal patterns that have appeared in human consciousness for thousands of years. Jung called these archetypal symbols, and understanding them can unlock a deeper relationship with yourself than you ever thought possible. Think about it. How many times have you dismissed a vivid dream as just weird or meaningless? What if I told you that every dream, no matter how bizarre, contains a message that could transform your understanding of your fears, desires, and untapped potential? Today, we are going to decode the most common dream symbols and discover what your unconscious mind is desperately trying to tell you. By the end of this journey, you'll have the tools to become fluent in the language of your dreams and use this ancient wisdom for profound personal growth. Jung's revolutionary approach to dreams. Before we dive into specific symbols, we need to understand Jung's revolutionary approach to dream interpretation. Unlike Freud, who believed dreams were primarily about repressed sexual desires, Jung saw dreams as compensatory messages from the unconscious mind. Jung believed that our psyche is constantly seeking balance. During our waking hours, we present a persona to the world, the mask we wear to fit in, to be accepted, to function in society. But beneath this persona lies our shadow, the parts of ourselves we've rejected, denied, or simply haven't acknowledged. Dreams, according to Jung, are the unconscious mind's attempt to restore balance. They bring to light what we've been ignoring, suppressing, or avoiding. They show us aspects of ourselves that need attention, integration, or transformation. Jung wrote, "The dream is a little hidden door in the innermost and most secret recesses of the soul." This isn't poetic language, it's a practical truth. Your dreams are your psyche's way of guiding you toward wholeness, toward what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are. But here's the key. Dreams speak in symbols because the unconscious mind operates differently than our logical, rational consciousness. It communicates through images, emotions, and archetypal patterns that resonate at a level deeper than thought. So when you dream of water, you're not just dreaming about H2O. When you dream of flying, it's not about defying gravity. These symbols carry layers of meaning that speak directly to your soul's deepest needs and wisdom. Water dreams, emotions and the unconscious. Let's start with one of the most powerful and common dream symbols, water. If you've ever dreamed of oceans, rivers, floods, or even a simple glass of water, you are receiving a message about your emotional life and unconscious mind. Jung viewed water as the ultimate symbol of the unconscious itself. Think about it. Water is fluid, ever-changing, sometimes calm and sometimes turbulent. It can be life-giving or destructive. It reflects light but also contains depths we cannot see. This is exactly how our unconscious operates. When you dream of calm, clear water, perhaps a peaceful lake or gentle stream, your unconscious is often indicating emotional balance and clarity. You're in harmony with your feelings, and your inner world is reflecting this peace. But what about those dreams where you're drowning or caught in a flood? These aren't nightmares to fear, they're urgent messages. Drowning dreams often appear when you're feeling overwhelmed by emotions in your waking life. Your unconscious is telling you that you're being consumed by feelings you haven't processed or acknowledged. I remember speaking with someone who had recurring dreams of being swept away by massive waves. In her waking life, she was going through a divorce while trying to maintain the perfect facade at work and with friends. Her dreams were showing her what she already knew but couldn't admit. She was drowning in unprocessed grief and anger. Murky or dirty water in dreams often represents emotional confusion or unresolved issues from your past. Your unconscious is pointing to aspects of your emotional life that need cleansing and clarity. Here's a question for reflection. When you think about your recent water dreams, what was the quality of the water? Was it clear or murky? Calm or turbulent? Still or flowing? Your unconscious is giving you precise information about your emotional state and what needs attention. Flying dreams, freedom and transcendence. Now let's explore one of the most exhilarating dream experiences, flying. If you've ever soared through dream skies, feeling weightless and free, you've experienced one of the most powerful symbols of human potential and spiritual transcendence. Jung understood flying dreams as expressions of our deepest desire for freedom. Not just physical freedom, but psychological and spiritual liberation. When you fly in dreams, you're experiencing a temporary release from the limitations, expectations, and constraints that bind you in waking life. But here's what's fascinating. The way you fly in your dreams reveals profound insights about your relationship with personal power and freedom. Are you soaring effortlessly, or struggling to stay airborne? Are you flying high above everything, or just barely skimming the ground? Effortless flying often appears when you are in a period of personal growth and self-actualization. Your unconscious is celebrating your expanding awareness and your ability to rise above old limitations. You're literally and symbolically gaining a higher perspective on your life. Struggling to fly, on the other hand, might indicate that you're fighting against something in your waking life that's preventing you from expressing your full potential. Maybe you're in a job that stifles your creativity, or a relationship that diminishes your spirit. Your dreams are showing you both the problem and the solution. You have the capacity to rise above these limitations. Some people dream of flying but suddenly lose the ability and begin to fall. This often occurs during periods of transition or when facing self-doubt. Your unconscious is revealing both your potential for transcendence and your fears about claiming that power. Here's a powerful question to consider. In your flying dreams, what enables you to take flight? Is it a specific thought, feeling, or action? Your unconscious might be giving you the exact key to accessing greater freedom in your waking life. Falling dreams, loss of control and fear. Speaking of falling, let's address one of the most common and startling dream experiences. You know that sensation. You're falling through space, and you jolt awake with your heart racing. These dreams are so universal that they've been documented across all cultures and throughout history. Jung interpreted falling dreams as manifestations of our deepest fears about losing control and our anxiety about life's uncertainties. When you dream of falling, your unconscious is processing feelings of instability, insecurity, or overwhelm in your waking life. But here's what's crucial to understand. Falling dreams aren't just about fear, they're about the fear of letting go. Think about it. What is falling, really? It's surrendering to gravity, releasing our grip on control, and trusting in something larger than ourselves. Many falling dreams occur during periods of major life transitions, starting a new job, ending a relationship, moving to a new city, or facing any situation where you can't control the outcome. Your unconscious is processing the terror and the liberation that comes with letting go of the familiar. I've noticed that people who have recurring falling dreams often struggle with perfectionism and the need to control every aspect of their lives. The dream is both expressing their fear and offering a profound teaching. Sometimes we need to fall in order to learn how to fly. There's another layer to falling dreams that Jung would find particularly significant. In many spiritual traditions, falling represents the necessary descent into the unconscious, what Jung called the journey to meet your shadow. Sometimes we need to fall from our high tower of ego and control to discover our authentic self waiting in the depths. Here's a transformative way to work with falling dreams. Instead of jolting awake in fear, try to imagine yourself falling into something soft and supportive. What would it feel like to trust the fall? What might be waiting for you at the bottom? Being chased, running from your shadow. Now let's explore perhaps the most psychologically revealing dream symbol. Being chased. If you've ever found yourself running from something or someone in a dream, heart pounding, searching desperately for escape, you've encountered one of Jung's most important concepts in action, The shadow. Jung defined the shadow as the part of ourselves that we've rejected, denied, or disowned. It contains not just negative qualities, but any aspect of our personality that doesn't fit with our conscious self-image. The shadow holds our repressed anger, our denied desires, our disowned strength, and our rejected creativity. When you dream of being chased, you're literally running from aspects of yourself that need integration and acceptance. The pursuer in your dream isn't trying to harm you, it's trying to catch up with you, to be acknowledged and integrated into your conscious awareness. Here's what's fascinating. The nature of what's chasing you reveals exactly what part of your shadow needs attention. Are you being chased by a wild animal? This might represent repressed instincts or primal energy you've been denying. Is it a person you know? Consider what qualities this person embodies that you've rejected in yourself. Sometimes people dream of being chased by a dark, faceless figure. This represents the most general form of shadow integration. There are unknown aspects of yourself that you've been avoiding, and they're demanding attention. Jung believed that we can never fully eliminate the shadow, and we shouldn't try. Instead, the goal is integration. When you stop running from your shadow and turn to face it, something remarkable happens. The pursuing force often transforms into an ally, a source of power and wholeness you never knew you possessed. I worked with someone who had recurring dreams of being chased by an angry woman. In her waking life, she prided herself on being eternally positive and accommodating. Through dream work, she realized the angry woman represented her own suppressed rage about being taken advantage of in relationships. When she finally integrated this shadow anger, she found the strength to set healthy boundaries for the first time in her life. Here's a powerful question. What would happen if, in your next chase dream, you stopped running and turned to face your pursuer? What might this rejected part of yourself be trying to give you? Death dreams, transformation and renewal. Let's address one of the most frightening yet profound dream symbols, death. Dreams of dying, whether it's your own death or the death of others, can be deeply disturbing, but Jung understood them as some of the most powerful messages your unconscious can send. First, let me be clear, dreams of death are rarely, if ever, prophetic. They're not predicting actual physical death. Instead, they represent psychological death and rebirth, the end of one phase of life and the beginning of another. Jung saw death in dreams as the ultimate symbol of transformation. When you dream of dying, your unconscious is processing the death of an old version of yourself. This might be the death of limiting beliefs, outdated patterns, or aspects of your identity that no longer serve you. Think of the caterpillar in its cocoon. From the caterpillar's perspective, its dissolution is death. But from a higher perspective, it's transformation into something far more beautiful and capable. Your death dreams are often showing you this same process of metamorphosis happening in your own life. Dreams where you die and then observe your own death or funeral are particularly significant. These dreams often appear during major life transitions and represent your ego's fear of change. But they also reveal something profound. There's a part of you that transcends these temporary identities and changes. What Jung called the self, the eternal aspect of your being. Dreams of loved ones dying can be especially disturbing, but they rarely represent actual threats to these people. Instead, they often symbolize changing relationships or the death of old patterns of relating. Sometimes they represent your fear of loss or your unconscious recognition that you need to let go of certain expectations or dependencies. I remember a client who repeatedly dreamed of her mother dying. In waking life, she was struggling to establish independence and adult boundaries with her overprotective mother. The dreams were showing her that the old mother-child dynamic needed to die for a healthier adult relationship to be born. Here's a profound way to work with death dreams. Instead of fearing them, ask yourself what is ready to be released in your life. What old patterns, beliefs, or identities are you being called to let die so that something new can be born? Animal dreams, instinct and the primitive self. Animals and dreams represent some of our most primal and powerful energies. Jung understood that animals and dreams connect us to our instinctual nature, the wise, primitive self that exists beneath our civilized persona. Each animal carries specific symbolic meanings that have been consistent across cultures and throughout history. When a particular animal appears in your dreams, it's bringing you a message about qualities you need to embody or energies you need to integrate. Predator animals like lions, tigers, or wolves often represent power, courage, and leadership qualities that you may be suppressing. If you're being chased by these animals, you might be running from your own power or afraid of your capacity for strength and dominance. Birds in dreams typically represent freedom, spiritual insight, and higher perspective. Flying birds can indicate that you're ready to rise above current limitations, while caged birds might suggest you're feeling trapped or restricted in some area of life. Snakes are particularly powerful dream symbols. Despite their negative associations in some cultures, Jung understood snakes as symbols of transformation, healing, and wisdom. The snake's ability to shed its skin makes it a perfect metaphor for personal renewal and growth. If you're afraid of the snake in your dream, you might be resisting necessary changes in your life. Domestic animals like dogs and cats often represent different aspects of your personality. Dogs might symbolize loyalty, faithfulness, and unconditional love, either qualities you possess or qualities you need to develop. Cats often represent independence, mystery, and feminine intuition. Here's what's particularly interesting about animal dreams. The animals often embody qualities that your conscious mind has rejected or forgotten. Modern life has disconnected many of us from our instinctual wisdom, and animal dreams are the unconscious mind's way of reconnecting us to these essential energies. Consider this. What animal has appeared most frequently in your dreams? What qualities does this animal embody? How might you need to integrate these qualities into your waking life? Integration and taking action. Now that we've explored these powerful dream symbols, the question becomes, how do you use this wisdom for real transformation in your life? Jung emphasized that understanding your dreams intellectually isn't enough. The goal is integration, bringing the unconscious wisdom into conscious awareness and then embodying it in your daily life. Here's a practical approach to working with your dreams. Start keeping a dream journal. Keep it beside your bed and write down your dreams immediately upon waking, before your rational mind can edit or dismiss them. Don't worry about perfect recall. Even fragments contain valuable information. As you record your dreams, pay attention to recurring symbols, themes, and emotions. Your unconscious often sends the same message in different forms until you're ready to receive it. What symbols appear most frequently in your dreams? What emotions dominate your dream experiences? Ask yourself powerful questions about your dream symbols. If this symbol appeared in my waking life, what would it be trying to tell me? What aspect of my life does this symbol relate to? What action is my unconscious calling me to take? Remember, every dream is ultimately about you. Even if other people appear in your dreams, they often represent aspects of your own psyche. The angry person in your dream might represent your own suppressed anger. The wise figure might represent your own inner wisdom that you haven't been accessing. Your dreams are not random neurological events. They are profound communications from the deepest, wisest part of yourself. Jung understood that the unconscious mind is not just a storage place for forgotten memories, but an active, intelligent force that seeks to guide you toward wholeness and authenticity. Every night, as you sleep, your unconscious mind is processing your experiences, fears, desires, and potential. It's offering you guidance, warnings, and insights that your conscious mind might be too busy, too afraid, or too defended to receive during waking hours. The symbols we've explored today, water, flying, falling, being chased, death, and animals, are universal languages that speak to the deepest aspects of human experience. When you learn to understand these symbols, you gain access to a wisdom tradition that is both ancient and eternally relevant. But here's the most important truth. Your dreams are not just meant to be understood, they're meant to be lived. The insights and guidance you receive from your unconscious mind are invitations to grow, to heal, to integrate rejected aspects of yourself, and to step more fully into your authentic power. So I challenge you, starting tonight, pay attention to your dreams. Keep a journal by your bed. When you wake up, whether from a beautiful dream or a terrifying nightmare, ask yourself, what is my unconscious mind trying to tell me? What aspect of my life needs attention? What part of myself is asking to be acknowledged and integrated? Your dreams are calling you home to yourself. They're revealing the path to becoming who you truly are beneath the masks, the fears, and the limitations you've accepted. Jung called this journey individuation, the process of becoming whole. What dream symbols have been appearing in your life? What messages have you been ignoring or dismissing? Share your insights in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If this exploration has resonated with you, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the wisdom of psychology and self-development. Your unconscious mind has so much more to teach you, and this is just the beginning of the conversation. Remember, you are not just the person you appear to be during your waking hours. You are vast, complex, and filled with untapped potential. Your dreams are the gateway to discovering and embodying this fuller version of yourself. The question is, are you ready to listen?